All right, guys, what's going on? How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's well. We're gonna go over what happened last night with the card in America, the Salida Promotions card. We're gonna talk a little bit about what we have in front of us. There's some obscure fights to get into, but like always, we're gonna cover our bases first. As you guys are tapping in, let me know how everyone's going. Let me know how you did yesterday with the Salida Promotions card. I told you guys I was only playing two of the fights. And so what we did was, if you're in the Patreon and you're a JSB insider, this week so far, I gave you guys the dog of the week, the two-leg method of victory parlay, and we also have our four-leg money line that's still live with two fights, the Nishida fight and then the F.A. Ajagba fight. And so the dog hit and then our two-leg method of victory hit, and I'm having some technical difficulties on this end, but I'll get to your questions. I'm gonna start tapping into everybody. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so the Pursoon fight. I mean, make what you will of it. We were in the Discord. We were talking. We were live streaming during the fights in our live chat. It was just an awkward fight. It was one of those fights where the referee. I mean, there were what, one, two, three, four, at least 4 points deducted, two on each side. It was a sloppy fight, but I think the right woman won. And then with Joshua Pagan, JJ, there seemed to be some confusion. I woke up to some comments about who we were taking, and for all the VIPs, for all the JSB insiders, you guys get all my picks, so you already knew who we were taking. If you haven't joined yet, guys, the link is pinned right there. It's a couple bucks a month. You get access to our Discord, and you get all of our picks. You get to join our community. We're at 364 JSB insiders. We launched it in August, and it's one of it's a great community to be part of. Also, if you want to join the Patreon the same way, if you either join on YouTube or the Patreon, you get access. So we took JJ Bacon last fight against Malik Montgomery. We took, that was a fight we took him by knockout. We played the prop right, and I like betting on JJ Pagan fights. We always do really well. This fight, in our breakdown, I was telling you guys he was in there with a tough Nicaraguan fighter. When I hear Nicaragua, you guys, you think Ricardo Mayorga. Nicaraguan fighters, man, they're known. He was an 18-2 27-year-old, and I just felt like the distance and the points based on that. I felt like it was one of those matchups where it was bound to go the distance. Pagan was defending, I think, the NABF title in his hometown. There's always pressure to perform. So it was another one of these fights in which you got to look a little bit past the fight tape to kind of get a good understanding, a good grasp, I think, of outcomes. And then with the ladies, I mean, Vair, one stoppage, and Pursoon's 41. And so I just felt like everybody should have made money yesterday with those two outcomes. We're gonna go over what I'm gonna do now is just go over the card briefly. If you're on Instagram and you want to link up, just go to my Instagram. Johnny Stofko said, "Hey, be like, hey Johnny, it's so and so from YouTube. I'll follow you back." If you don't know about Garrett Rice Jr., this is only his second or third pro fight, but I gotta be honest with you, I was uh I was impressed with I was impressed with Garrett Rice's craftiness. He has some game to him. And shout out to his opponent for not going down, because that was a massive left hook. They were exchanging hooks. So I said in the live stream, I'm putting Baby G. I put an asterisk by Baby G's name, and I'm going to pay attention to him in his next fights. He showed me great stuff on the defensive side of the plate. His offense was versatile. His, being able to, stand there in the pocket. And I was impressed, man. So I think Garrett Rice Jr. is a guy we could keep an eye on. This was awful, awful behavior by Pursoon. She literally acted like a child, having a meltdown in front of the entire world. She really was had no answers for Caroline Vire. Now, Vire's game plan was like a low-level Vitaly Klitschko jab and grab. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we haven't seen game plan before, right? Now, what you want to do, you know, Vieira was obviously, she was the younger one, better defensively. She was quicker. She was the better boxer. And all Pursoon wanted to do was land those really wide, loopy hooks. And it was basically the entire fight, 10 2-minute rounds, was a hard fight to watch, guys. Was Caroline Vieira using her speed, pot shotting 1-2, and then dipping her head and then grabbing on Pursoon. And that was, you could tell she drilled that. That was their coach's game plan. And hey, she's a world champion. You don't have to like the fight. You don't have to enjoy it. But hey, if you listen to our props, if you listen to our dog of the week, that's 5 weeks in a row, going all the way back to J-Rod and Kane. And so we got the win. That's all we wanted to do. We weren't tuning into this to be blown away by watching a boxing clinic. You know what I'm saying? We were tuning in so we could be up. And that was that was our dog of the week, Vieira. That's the Swindler Says. That's me shadowboxing like a crazy person. This was our plus 290. I mean, and I told you guys going into fight week, we've been on quite a heater, by the way. And I'm not taking any of that for granted. So I'm very grateful and thankful that things are going our way right now. We're on a heater. I mean, we're hot right now, right? And I think it's an attribute to how much effort. It's not just me either. A lot of these bets, we come together as a team to come up with what we're going to choose. So archaeologists, being an archaeologist, we will find victories. I've been saying that for months. Plus 290. I mean, come on, guys. That's and you'll see some of the boys hit with this, which is why I love to do what I do. So yeah, we hit with the dog. We hit with the plus 290. And my internet is acting crazy because my girlfriend is here streaming. I'm going to blame it on Chrissy. So I'm not going to have the internet for a bit. So I'm just going to take your questions. My girlfriend spent the night and she's in there. She's in my the back of the house streaming. Vieira started off fast, made her look foolish, fought smart the last few rounds. Same tactics Haney and Kelly were using. The bottom line is the person you stop. Yeah, it's a tactic. You have to at least have some depth to your game plan. You know, Pursoon didn't have any depth to her work. She was frustrated, and the way she acted was pretty bad. The Pursoon didn't define Vieira, but Vieira defined the person. Nice way of putting it. Put your elbows up like Mayweather. Slam your elbows on the top of her forearm. She has nobody to blame but herself for the L. She was outclassed early and didn't have enough late. True. And that's what the chat was saying. It's another reason to join the Discord. Click the link that's pinned in the comment section. Because I know PJ, shout out to PJ. PJ's in the Discord. He's a JSB insider. But he's not watching the fights, but he's paying attention. He's keeping track, staying up to date with how the fights are going round by round. Because the boys in the Discord are scoring it. And this is what a lot of times these fights on the weekends, I'm out doing family stuff. So the way I can pay attention to the actual fights is the chat in the Discord. And so it was a tough fight to watch, but I don't think it was a tough fight to score. Never take the Swindler. Well, here's a dude, the hat. Shout out to Johnny's Babies and shout out to 79. Shout out to there's some dude on Twitter too. I don't know his name because I don't have Twitter. But they said that I was a fake. They said that I wasn't from Youngstown. Firstly, who in the world would ever lie about being from Youngstown, Ohio? You know what I'm saying? And then they called me that Australian, that fake Aussie swindler. He's swindling his people. They're just salty how we're growing our channel. So I was like, rather than them trying to clown me, I'm going to use it for marketing. So guys, I launched merch, by the way. I'll show you that in a second. The new merch line is up on the channel. It's the Swindler Says series. We got a hoodie. We got a couple t-shirts. What's up, David? Johnny, been hitting some shit. We on a good run, man. And I'm grateful because I know how quick it could turn. I'm just going with the flow. I am not ever going to sit here and say, I told you I'm the best in the world. I'm the king of it. Nah. We're just in a good run right now. and I'm just trying to lean into it. Not doing anything differently, doing everything exactly the same. If anything, the only difference I've added to my game in terms of the film study is I've talked about this the last few weeks. I've watched a lot less film tape and I've watched a lot more behind the scenes stuff. So reach it on my own terms, and I know Skills in the Discord does this. He's in the chat right now, like reaching out to the coaches of the fighters, reaching out to the fighters on Instagram, because my network is pretty vast. Watching the fighters themselves, their content, because like we cover all the fights. We know how these fighters fight. We know stylistically when a big fight's coming up what to expect. So what I've done in the last probably in the last 2 months is watch a lot less film study and paid attention to a lot more of the other nuanced stuff that I think gets overlooked. When you gonna have that Ryan versus Barrios prediction during fight week, beast mode? Fight week, baby, fight week. When you gonna have that Ryan? Yep. I'm in Florida. Only betting app we have is Hard Rock. They didn't have the bets yesterday. Hey, sometimes though the best bets are the ones we don't make, so it could be worse. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's probably a good thing that they didn't show the fights. Who knows? I know that some guys, some of you boys bet on a fight that ended up in a draw, and I didn't bet that fight. And I know there's betting apps here in Australia that the draw would have canceled your ticket. So it could be worse, beast mode. You know, sometimes the best bets we make are the ones that we don't. Salute for being humble, Johnny. Your winnings and your losses. I just wonder if the guy, yeah, he he doesn't. I told you guys before, the guy who's keeping score. I'm very competitive. I didn't know, guys. I didn't know about this whole keeping score thing until somebody messaged me. I was like, "What is this? Don't you think you should?" Like, I thought as a professional, if you're keeping score, you would be like, "Hey, bro, I have an idea for content on my channel. What do you think of this? Do you want to be part of it?" I would have been like, "Hell yeah, dude, that's a great idea. How can I help?" I would bring them on the channel. You guys know me. I've platformed uh, multiple people. You've seen Muscles on my channel. You've seen Breaking Bad on my channel. TJ's been on my channel. Gary's been on my channel. Tommy Rendone's been on my channel. Paulie Malignaggi. So I'm all about working together. The way that I found out about it was I went to his channel and he had a list of fights that he had a fight that I predicted, but he had it wrong. He said that I predicted Gucci Flores to beat to beat Jorge Chavez in the rematch, and I didn't. I picked Jorge Chavez, and I typed it in the comments section. I was like, "Well, just to let you know, you're spreading misinformation. I picked Jorge Chavez." Everybody in my Discord knew that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who pays for my bets knows that. The JSB insiders knew that. And so I didn't even, that was the first time I heard about this keeping score thing. So now it's like, if you're going to keep score and you're lying about who I'm taking, you're putting my name and my brand in a public space with wrong facts. Come on, man. That's not the way, that's not being professional. So I just dug my boots and was like, all right, if we're keeping score, it's a good time to go on a heater then. Because we're on a heater, and it could easily go the other way. It could it could easily go the other way. So I'm not. We're only as good as our last bet, and we're only as bad as our last bet. What's up, Johnny? Brandon's my guy. What's up, Brandon? Appreciate you, my boy Julius. What's early thoughts on Crocker Pero? So, guys, man, and Julius, I'd like to hear your take on this. It's hard for me to get that Liam Paro versus David Popov fight out of my mind in terms of how much he struggled with the weight class. And I know I talked about this the other day on my live stream, and some of the boys were adding, well, Popov's a big dude. We know that David Popov had fought at 160. I think Popov had fought all the way up at 160 before. But it's like, yeah, Liam Paro's camp knew that. They're the ones who still wanted that fight. They knew what they were getting themselves into. What I saw in that fight was Liam going life and death. Liam got hit a lot, and I feel that's one of those fights that sometimes that damage accumulates. I didn't like how much Liam got hit in that fight. I didn't like the look he had while he was getting hit in terms of the accumulation round after round. So Liam at his best beats Crocker. I feel Liam would have struggled more with Donovan. Like now this is great for Liam because this is a world title fight, but from a boxing head perspective, from a guy that likes the minutia of like matchups, stylistically, I would have rather. I was excited for Donovan versus Liam, but now it's good that Liam is getting an opportunity to become a two-division world champion, which I think that Donovan beat Crocker the first and second time. It's just that we know what happened. The second time, Donovan got dropped 2 times, and it was pretty much the only work Crocker did the entire fight. Crocker had the bigger moments, but I felt Donovan hands down won more of the rounds. And, when you're judging a fight, it's 12 individual fights. You have to judge 12 individual moments, 3-minute moments. So, yeah, I think I think I'm slightly edging Pero there. The book I bet with making me miss out a lot. Miss Figueroa, but all good. No way. So Alex, so your book didn't let you bet on the Figgy fight. Where are you located, if you don't mind me asking? Because that was a main event as a world title fight on a very big card in the UK. So does your book just kind of give you what they feel like? Here you go, Alex. Here's 2 fights. You could bet on this. Like if that's the case, maybe you should look at alternative ways to find action. Because I know some of the boys use VPNs. Look, I don't know how that works, but I think there's other alternative ways you could try to find action. David, yo, I'm thinking about moving to Vegas. What do you think? Bro, so I lived in Vegas for 2 years from 2011 to 2013. I worked on the Las Vegas Strip. I worked at the Wynn Hotel, and I worked at Planet Hollywood Casino. I was a bartender at a nightclub, and I was a bartender at a swimming pool, like a day pool party called Surrender at the Wynn. And what I always tell people is Vegas's beauty is its national parks. You could go snowboarding in Mount Charleston. Most people don't know this. You go snowboarding in Mount Charleston. In Vegas, you have the Valley of Fire National Park, which is absolutely amazing. The Joshua Tree National Park, with a place called Pioneer Town. Pioneer Town is an old Hollywood set they used to film the westerns in the 1970s that is still up, and it's an active town. I think there's like 40 to 50 people who live there. The cops are on horseback. It's in the middle of the desert, and there's a steakhouse called Pappy and Harriet's. Absolutely amazing. And then you have Red Rocks Canyon. So Las Vegas, outdoor, massive for outdoor activities. You get a lot of endurance athletes who move to Vegas for that. You get a lot of X Games athletes who move to Vegas for that. Also, the music scene is phenomenal. Old Vegas, the old strip, Fremont Street is what they call it, off of the strip. You got the art district. You got bands like the Killers from Vegas. Neon Trees are from Vegas. Neo came up through Vegas. You got and that's just off the top of my head. Panic at the Disco is from Vegas. So the point is the art scene. If you're into arts, live music, and we know, Cirque du Soleil is there, the live shows on the strip. But the beauty of it is actually when you live there, understanding that it's an outdoor athletes sort of mecca. It sounds crazy because you're in the middle of the desert and it's super hot, but the lifestyle's a bit different. Like we wouldn't go out until like 9 p.m. and you wouldn't go to bed till about 6, 7 a.m. So it's all that sort of thing. Great food, great restaurants. Then again, I did live there in 2011 to 2013, but I had a good time. I had a love-hate relationship with Vegas because Vegas brought me here, and I love my life here in Sydney. It was all part of my journey, but there were some dark times in Vegas with the gambling. Yeah, there were some dark times in Vegas. What up, bro? I'm locking out Garcia moneyline on board there. Whoa, hot takes. Good luck, brother. What are those odds paying you? PJ, I think you're finally up, PJ. I need to hear you say you are up, PJ. Come on. Yeah, we have fights. There's fights on the books. Today is my Thursday. So there's fights on my books Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, which we'll get into a second. I don't like the Nishida fight. Nishida's fighting um what's his name? I think Juarez or Vasquez. Nishida's fighting Vasquez. That fight is happening in 2 days. And Nishida's fighting Brian Ricardo Vasquez. Vasquez has a really interesting record. It's just that we'll dive into that because Nishida's the favorite, and I've been messaged by a few boys asking me if Nishida was on upset alert. When you dive a little bit deeper into Mercado Vasquez's resume, though, it's a lot to be desired. Not sure Paro has another good. What's up, sis? Um, I know, man. It's a tough sport, and it's that move up that we always talk about. from 40 to 47, because a lot of guys at 47 could be fighting at 54 and maybe 60. 47 is that weight division where it is hard to go up. A lot of the guys coming up to 47 have fought at 35 before, fought at 40. I always said Liam is kind of like an in-betweener, but then you have to worry about guys who are fighting at 47 who've come down from 60 and 54. And this is something that you have to think about when you're looking at matchups in that weight class. It's like, all right, they're both weighing in on fight night at 147, but the naturally bigger guy, and it's one of these divisions that is historically the big punchers are in those divisions, and I just don't like the way Liam handled Popo. And it's not, I'm not 100% picking Liam, but I think it's a better matchup fighting Crocker than it would be than fighting Patty. In Liam's defense, it's for a world title. Guys, we're 20 minutes in. We're floating between 30 and 50 people in this live. Can we please like this video? Could you subscribe if you haven't already? Join our Johnny Says Boxing VIP professional betting Discord. We just broke 365 VIPs in there. It's not just boxing, not just MMA. This month, I'm launching for the Aussies NRL. I'm launching AFL. We're launching the F1 and Major League Baseball in April. So American football just ended. And what you'll find in the Discord is in each channel, like boxing is my bread and butter. Boxing and MMA, my bread and butter. So you'll find me in those two channels. But I've never walked into the soccer one. I've never walked into the NHL channel, but it's all in our group. And so each channel has its own betting wizards. You could go up and see, I think it's soccer. Gil's one of my moderators. It's either soccer or hockey. Gil's the guy to talk to. We used to have a guy, Win Santiago. He's in all those other channels. So once you join the Discord, if you have any questions, just message me in Discord, and I'll kind of guide you to, depending what sport, if you have questions to, who the heavy hitters are. And you can see them because all the boys post their tickets. Paro slower at 47. I'm leaning Crocker. Okay. Yeah. I got to see my issues with Crocker is game plan execution and where's his head? Where's his mind at? I like Crocker. I mean, I like he's a bit of a wild man. Paro's obviously a no nonsense sort of dude. Do you feel I think there's some psychologically with Liam, even though he beat Popo from the media I've been watching, I follow him on Instagram. You're always looking, and he's been doing a lot of media for this fight. I don't want to say he lost shine because that's not what I'm saying here. It's hard for me to put a word on what I'm saying. I think there's like a little bit of a confidence thing with Liam Paro that I'm not seeing. So you might be onto something, Julius. I'd like to talk to you more about it. Maybe we do a live stream. You come on and you could educate us on it. I got a bookie. I'm in California, base AZ. Okay. Damn, old school bookie. I remember my first bookie. So I'll be 44 in April. I was 12. I had a bookie when I was 12 years old. His name was Smurf, and he was 2 years younger than me. This is classic Youngstown, Ohio. If you don't know anything about Youngstown, Ohio, a lot of Italian immigrants, a lot of Smurf was from Palestine. I grew up with a lot of Palestinians. My best friend is Palestinian, and his real name, I won't say his real name, but Smurf, he owns bars and clubs now in Youngstown. He was my first bookie, and everything would be on the money line, and everything was a $50 bet. I was 12 betting $50 on NFL games. It was just NFL money line games. Crazy, dude. I used to run a door too. So I ran a door for when I was in 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I went to St. Anthony's in Briar Hill. So I would have been like 10, 11, 12. I used to run. Here's how I got my money. And I'm not proud of this, but we grew up on welfare. So I had to have my own money, my own hustle. The one hustle we had where we would sell deactivated pagers to our boys. My boy Brandon Fleshman, his older brother was in a gang, and he would get all these pagers that were stolen, little beepers. And Brandon would take them from his brother, and then I would buy them from Brandon, and then we'd sell them to our classmates to wear as an accessory on our belt loop, just to floss. It was a deactivated beeper, and dude, we're like 11 years old. But the other hustle I used to run the door at the 5th and 6th grade girls basketball games at my school, and then I'd always slip cash. I was so grimy. I would I would slip a 5, I'd slip a 10 in my pocket after the games. I'd count my money, and then I have money to gamble. And It was I had to overcome some demons, boys. Johnny, off topic from boxing, but there's a one championship card on Friday. Have you heard? Okay, Adrian Lee. Yeah, I think Adrian is the younger brother of the Fighting Lee family. Um, rest in peace, Vicky. Um, is this a sibling of the Lee family or no? The fighting family out of Hawaii and Singapore. Ricky, Johnny the swindler says. But pretty much, even when I try to get the line, they say it's a hassle. It makes me want to switch where I bet. Yeah, Alex, it should be easy. Betting is hard regardless. This is a little tip. Betting is hard regardless. So if you're going out of your way to do something that is hard and difficult in outcomes, don't do it. It should be easy. That's what it should be easy. It shouldn't be hard. That the scary thing is it should be easy to bet. It shouldn't be hard to bet because it's hard to win. Don't do it then. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not having fun doing it, that sounds stressful to me. Trying to get a bookie and then they're only giving you certain fights and then the line. I wouldn't do it. Duarte is plus 500 in some books. Duarte is a live dog. Hitchens is a skeleton at 140. This weight cut may really deplete him this time. Oh, shit. Duarte has looked good, guys. Duarte has looked good. I like the work that he's been doing in camp. I like what I saw against Kenny Sims Jr. He proved to me that he can win. He won a thinking man's fight. That fight in Chicago, he was technically the A side promotionally, but that was in Kenny's backyard. His family, finally headlined in Chicago. And my question, and I took Kenny. I thought we got Kenny at plus money as a dog, and he lost the decision. And I felt like Sims Jr.'s boxing acumen, his ability to use the entire ring, his countering, I felt like that was going to eventually wear Duarte down. But Duarte, his energy system was there, his pressure was there, his cardio was there, his endurance was there, everything looked good. He actually looks like he's turning into a good boxer too. Duarte is live. He is live, but you know how high I am on Africa. Africa is one of my favorite fighters because I'm a simple man. I like a jab. If you have good feet and you have good timing and you have a good jab, I mean, you could go far in this sport. I actually think Duarte's style is tailor made for Richardson Hitchens, believe it or not. Now, if we're talking about extraneous variables like Hitchens cutting a lot of weight and he's going to be depleted, that's one thing because you do then have to worry about carrying your cardio through a 12-round world title fight when you had a rough weight cut. I'd have to see, and I'm going to wait until fight week because I assume Hitchens is obviously, like you just said, Jay, Hitchens is a big favorite. So I'm going to wait until fight week anyway to put my bet if I'm riding Hitchens for the fact that maybe we'll get better odds. But I might wait till fight night. I might wait till the weigh-ins night. I want to see how he looks. But if it's the Hitchens against George in terms of being replenished, being 100% healthy, and the Duarte against Kenny Sims, which I feel was the best version of Duarte, I think Hitchens wins. I think Duarte's offensive arsenal, his style over a long period of time can be one-dimensional. I think he showcases, he doesn't really hide. He doesn't have a lot of variation to his entrances. And he's fun to watch, very determined. But I think with that front foot determined style, you put a guy out there with a better hand speed and a technical jab who's long, who could use the whole ring. I wouldn't be shocked if I took Hitchens to stop him, but we'll see. Because we'll see. I'd had Hitchens towards it. Yeah, you guys aren't sold on Rich. I am, man. I'm sold. I'm a believer. I think he's one of the best in the sport. I do. I'm really high on Richardson Hitchens. I think that only you could Hitchens you judge from here on out is the one who beat George, and it's nothing to do against Kambosos. It's everything to do with Hitchens fighting confidently and letting his offensive tools shine. I hit him at plus 600. He was a plus 600 to stop George, and we hit that based off of what? The viral moment. We talked about that in this. Look, boxing at the highest level, you could have the most athletic guy, you could have the most talented guy, but the coaches see it, the sparring partners see it. You're in the gym with them, and you're like, dude, this dude is a world beater. And then come fight night, it's like, why was he holding out? Why was he holding back? That's not the same guy we've seen all fight camp. It's because it's very psychological. A lot of these guys, you know how hard it is to take a risk to punch with a puncher in a world title fight when you don't want to lose, when everybody is the same size, everybody is equally as talented, and the margin for error is so small. That takes confidence to do that over a career. But once you do it, once you break through and take these risks in areas where you weren't taking risks before, you continue to take those risks. And I think Richardson Hitchens, being how he stopped George, is going to fight that exact way. A little bit more pressure, a little bit more offensively minded, more technical than Duarte, more speed than Duarte, a better jab than Duarte, better feet. I think I'm probably right now, it not official. I like Hitchens to stop him. We'll see. Cool little top tier boxing card on Sunday. Any thoughts on the African Olympian prospect 2-0? Manny, I have no idea who you're talking about, dude. Sorry. My mind, I have zero idea who you're talking about. But I got time. It's only Thursday. I'll dig into it for you. Maybe Manny, maybe we should start doing this because there's so many fights that we cover. Maybe you guys could private message me in Discord, like, hey, Johnny, these are a couple fights that I know that there's odds up for. You haven't spoken about them yet. And then I could do it either privately or I could do a separate video, like one of my edited videos, and I could address the boys. It's a good, you know what? You bring up a good point. It's a good piece of content, I think, that if you want to do that, we could, I do the Stats Don't Lie edited videos. I could do like a Discord for the boys edited videos on fights that I might not have gotten into that I could take a couple hours to get into. Because right now, I haven't even looked at that. Possible dog play this weekend. Isinia Byfield. Okay, so 2 in a row talking about this. All right, so you guys just answered my question. I'm gonna put that in my notes. You guys just answered my question. So Byfield versus Makonga. Give me till tomorrow. Byfield versus Makonga. This time tomorrow when we're streaming and you ask me, I'll have an answer for you. We do have a parlay that's live right now. Earlier in the week, we were only getting 4 fights. And so it's up 2 of the 4 hit. We're waiting on FA and we're waiting on Nishida. LeBron, Patreon. All right, guys, I'm going to turn my AC on real quick. Summertime in the living's easy. Well qualified to represent the LBC. 3, run to the party. Michael Blackson going to beat Duarte, but which other? You the motherfucker. This is bullshit. You the motherfucker. Something does smell like shit. Just tapped in any Swindler picks for the weekend, dogs. I think it's coming. This is kind of like our carryover from the Salida promotion card. I wanted to that was my main objective with this stream. Tomorrow I'm doing 2 tomorrow. I'm doing 2. I might go live again today. I got to take care of my little baby, my girl, in the back, and then I might go live again today. I got a box. I've sparring at 5, so it's 11:25 a.m. I have boxing at 5 p.m. I might go live again today with some of your specific questions, focusing on the fights in front of us. We already hit 1 dog. We got Vier at plus 120. I can't wait. The next ticket. It's like Christmas. LeBron, you got we still have a ticket live too in our Patreon. We have that 4-legger that's live at plus 250. Nice. Carrillo winning the belt on that 1 card. Okay. My boy was I told you guys, at one time, my buddy was a 2-division world champion at 1. He was the middleweight world champion and he was the light heavyweight world champion. His name was Ong Lun Seng, the Burmese Python. My guy. He's in my documentary. Terry Lance. every time I talk to you now, man, I feel like I owe you a little bit of revelry because that picture of Bud on your shoulders is insane, bro. Beepers. I remember I had one of those all through high school in Omaha in the '90s. It was active. I heard you guys in Omaha like to get active though. You guys like to get active. I was a kid, in the '90s. I was like 11. I just had hustle money. Omaha, somewhere in middle America. Hard to the FA by decision. Yeah. Anybody got any recent sparring footage of Charles Martin? Guys, this is a question let's do some homework together. We have a really educated chat. We have a lot of connections. We just saw Terry in the chat. Coach Bermudez is in the chat. Yo-Yo's coach. I want to see some like current sparring footage or current training of Charles Martin. See what I need. I don't trust his foundation, the legs. You know what I'm saying? So it's a weird fight, isn't it? It's a weird fight. Yeah, the Lee family. Look, I'm signing. If they've been through a lot, super dramatic with Vicky. You got to expect the young 19-year-old to be super locked in and super ready. That's a fighting family. No, I like Hitch. Yeah, me too, Rob. I can't wait for this. We have on the horizon some nice fights. Wood versus Warrington, no distance. I don't trust either one of their durability, so I like this pick a lot. Fast car. Fast car, Eddie Hitman, her 1632. Appreciate you. I think he fought a Wash George, worst I've ever seen. Just saying, I believe. Yeah, okay. So I agree. No. It's and this is what I said. I prefaced my point by saying, don't look into George being the opponent, more about the outcome. He like the psychological. I feel Hitch took a step up psychologically in the ladder of evolution of being a world champion. That's what I meant. The opponent there was George Kambosos. I don't want to say the opponent was irrelevant because you guys, yeah, why he could have did this against a tomato can but that's not what Hitchens was doing up until that fight. Everybody in his camp knew he could do that. It's the same thing I told you guys about Tiger Johnson for the Nick Flas fight. Same exact scenario. The same thing we just saw with Bruce Carrington. Same exact thing. These are all connected, guys. This is a pattern of behavior that I recognize that I use to win money based off of potential. I don't know if this because I'm a coach. I see the world this way when I'm watching fights, when I'm looking at matchups. I see the world through potential. And Bruce Carrington against, in the last fight, which was with Castro in a firefight where he chose to take that next step. He chose to have a viral moment by punching with the puncher, by putting himself in danger. What are the risk versus reward? Risk, you lose. Reward, you become a star. Let's go. Carrington. Tiger Johnson versus Flas, the same exact thing. Only thing Tiger was missing was a viral moment, standing on the ropes after he knocked somebody out. We bet on that, plus 1,000 Tiger for the knockout. We hit on that. I predicted that moment. We're not just throwing shit at a wall, right? Because everybody that I spoke to from Northeast Ohio, shout out to Marcus from Ohio Runs Boxing, told me that everybody knows how talented this kid Delonte is. It's just one thing with being talented and having this expansive bag, another thing with letting those tools come out of the pockets. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with Hitchens versus George. It was like, let's get these tools out of the pockets. And I think it's like a Pandora's box. Once they come out, they don't go back in. The fighter has evolved now. The fighter has taken a step up now in terms of taking risk. Risk taking in this sport, it's why fighters like Chico Corrales were so adored. He was and Arturo Gatti were so adored because it didn't always go their way, but they were gunslingers. They took risks with the reward possibly being adorned by fans forever and the risk getting stopped. Some fighters make the decision, some don't. And damn, when they do, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? He about to go box that. Yo, the first time I paid for a box, I don't know what all the box spots were. We still good. Money Meech. Bombada going to watch Duarte, best jab in the business. Bombada. Africa. I think so. I like that matchup. Let's see if my let's see if my third device is working. Let's see if we can pull up some odds. Let's see if we can pull up some odds. Guys, make sure you like the video. Join the Discord, JSP Insiders. We up. I'm going to pull the odds up. All right, guys. Let's have a look at what do we have here. So I'm going to pull up Hitchens versus Duarte. Surely the props aren't up yet. Surely you can't be serious. Of course I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley. Yeah, man. I think my girl's in the back streaming a show. So we got my live stream, we got another live stream, and we got her watching a show. So I think it's messing with my internet. She got the internet going nuts. All right, here we go. So this Thomas Isamba versus Masood Abdullah. Kelto Yamasaki versus Nakagawa. Dude, I have PTSD from these Japanese cards. These Japanese cards are wild. Josh Babbs fighting. That's an interesting fight versus Mirga. You know what, guys? I think we might find some. I think I might find another dog. To be fair, I can't lie to you guys. I was really looking at into Mercado Vasquez, but he's not live. I thought that we were going to take Mercado Vasquez as the dog. This was earlier in the week, but after watching tape and seeing who he's mixed it up with, he's not live. But Peter Merga might be. Nakagawa. Mark Buke might be live. Look at those odds. Mark Buke's a 3-1 dog here. That's interesting. Antonio Wood's got a little bit of game though. That's an interesting fight. I'm gonna stick to I want to check out the Duarte odds though. We got another live stream. We got like 3 more live streams before we get the fights in 2 days, so be patient with me. Yeah, pardon me if Hitchens versus Duarte is a little bit more exciting than Mark Bjork. No shade. All right, here we go. Go. All right, all I'm saying is plus 500 for the stoppage. I could see a stoppage here. I could see a stoppage here. I don't know if I'm going to play it yet. I'll let you know. Yeah, you're FA Jogba, the European title fight this weekend. Okay. Oh, they got that under a B-side fights. So it's Monday. All you Aussies, this fight card is our Monday at 2 p.m. So we literally have had fights almost every day this week. We had Salida yesterday, which was Wednesday. We had Japan on Tuesday. We had fights on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's insane. But none of the fights are that insane. So FA versus Charles Martin. I got to be honest. I probably like FA on points here, guys. That's what I'm probably thinking here. I want to see if anybody could find Charles Martin sparring footage, Like currently, somebody has to be in that camp that we know. I want to see what his legs look like. I want to see how he's punching. I want to see like we're old. We out here old. How are them legs? I need to know what in the world is in that bag. What you got in that bag? He had some good moments, guys. Charles Martin. Charles Martin had some good moments. FA doesn't have much power. He doesn't. He's basic 1-2, no punch variation. Also remember Mac Versalin, Fraser TRL, Lambo eBay. Bro, what do we always talk about, King? I don't want to call it. What are we going to call this? This isn't domestic level heavyweights. World. This is like fringe level. I mean, I don't know. I'm not thrilled about this fight, by the way. This might be a half unit bet for me. I'm not. It's not like I'm like, oh shit, F.A. Ajagba's fighting Charles Martin. Let's go. Like the Zuffa cards for me lately, man. I think what's going to happen is because they're all brand new, the matchmaking for the betters. We need like a year of data. We're all going into this shit blind with these Zuffa cards. You know what I'm saying? So I might not bet the Zuffa card because I got cooked last week. I took it. I missed on Seri Boacek and I missed on Vosdik. And if we would have had him flip flopped, we would have had it all right. But oh god, Seri Boacek was not washed in a close fight against Butiev, and Vostik looked amazing until he wasn't. So I don't know. I'm not that confident right now on these Zuffa cards. So Sean Burdett, he likes the knockout. Odds are good. Odds are good. Odds aren't good. I mean, even come on, Sean. You think that you're not $1.79, bro? FA by knockout? That's a terrible. I mean, the odds are shit. You don't. It's not even 1-1. 100 gets you $79 back. "31 years old, 20-1 with one draw. 6'6", 85-inch reach. I did not realize he was 6'6". Holy shit. Martin Bacoli, that was a fun fight. Do you think they should fight again? Was it a fun fight? I mean, Guido, Frank Sanchez. How big's the ring? Charles Martin, 6'5". Isn't he 40 now? I don't know, man. I don't like this fight at all. I don't like this fight at all. I gotta be honest with you. When I come up with my bet, I'll let you know. I'm gonna reach out to Paulie. I'm gonna message Tom. I gotta send some birds out because, like, we are up, guys. We're up so big. We have hit everything. I don't know, man. I don't like this fight. Charles Martin versus AJ. Yeah, man. Charles Martin versus AJ. Martin down twice in the second round. FA. So the move is a Ajagba by knockout. You guys like? April 16th. Damn, that was so long ago. Yeah, AJ's a real puncher, guys. It's just what we're gonna have to reason with though is Charles' age, his durability, and inactivity. Like, can we see like one of these like bizarre referee stoppages with FA? Does FA throw combinations? Is FA a flurry puncher? You know, or is he going to be pot shotting? Is he going to be jabbing, grabbing sort of thing? You got to first think about what this fight is going to look like, because we could get one of those scenarios like a UK special where, you know, the fighter has his back against the ropes, he's not throwing back, and then the ref just stops it. I mean, that's been known to happen in recent lore. Yeah, it sucks. So we put on. Yeah, I agree, Sean. Charles Martin, hardest puncher FA ever faced. FA stiff as hell. So Julius, what's the play? You said FA on points. Guys, could you like this video? We're approaching an hour. 40 to 60 you guys are in here. Comment your questions. Let me know. We're talking about FA Ajagba versus Charles Martin. It's the main event in Zuffa. And Ajagba, 6'6" puncher from Nigeria. Charles Martin, Prince Charles. You do realize when I was coming up what a Prince Charles was, right? It's when you get your penis pierced. So every time I hear his nickname, Prince Charles, I think about because when I was in college, I had like 7 pierced. I had these pierced 1, 2. I had my tongue 3. I had this pierced 4. I had my nipples. I had everything but my dick pierced. So one of my roommates in college was a tattoo artist and a piercer. So there was a phase I went through getting everything pierced, and everything except the D. But so every time I hear Prince, my bad. Is that Prince Charles or Prince Albert? I'm wrong. Everything I just said was irrelevant, except you guys now know that I almost got my dick pierced. It's a Prince Albert. It's not a Prince Charles. Freaking idiot. Sorry. You guys will never be able to get that 1 minute back. I apologize. Facts, he's stiff. If Charles was worth the damn, he could win, but he's mediocre. Is anyone taking Charles? Impressions, Wood, Warrington, 2. I'm slightly leaning Lee Wood here. It's tough because Warrington's the one who's kind of rejuvenated his career. Lee Wood is the one who's coming off getting stopped against Anthony Kakachi, even though it was up at 130. They have a history. We know what happened in their first fight. We saw what happened. It's hard for me to see. You know what sucks for me as a fan of the sport? Do you remember all the shine Warrington had? He had everything. He had the whole world. And then Bronco Lara, Mauricio Lara, a guy nobody even knew about, just stole it all. Jesus. I mean, people knew about Bronco. I take that back. But he was a massive underdog in that fight. He just stole it all. And it almost looked like for a time that, I mean, Warrington, you know, never was going to be able to build back up. Both guys, it's a fan-friendly pick. No, I don't think it's going the distance. All right, no distance in that fight. I'm doing a knockdown prop bet for that fight. I'm doing a no distance for Wood Warrington. Dun, 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 dun. Charles Martin defense not that good. I'm positive it'll be a knockout. FA5 good against Bacola. Sean, you could easily talk me out of my points pick, so you almost already are. I'm going to do, I got to send some. Does anybody have any Charles Martin sparring footage? We have an educated chat. We have a lot of guys with a lot of long hands. We got coaches and athletes. Somebody has something for us to see. Put it in the Discord. JSB Discordians, come through. I want to see what his legs look like. I don't care about hitting a bag. I don't care about, you know, doing pad work or shadow work. I want to see how them legs work. Because if them legs are them old legs, he's getting stopped. If them legs are them old legs, I think he's getting stopped. What's up, Johnny? What's your UFC lock of the week? You respond. No fights this week, right? Am I tripping? I don't think there's fights this week, brother. Mauro Batista. Yeah, we hit on that. We're on all sorts of fire, boys. We're on all sorts. UFC Sunday. Yeah, there's no fights this week, but coming next week, a little bit of look ahead. Jordan Levitt's fighting. He's a dog against Yadier Delvel. Jocelyn Edwards. O'Day Osborne. O'Day Osborne might be live, boys. Oh, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Dude, Enjo Kawani is the dog against Carlos Leal. I'm a big fan of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I love his style. I remember watching him in Glory Kickboxing. Michelle Pereira versus Zachary Reese. Jeff Neal. Yo! Jeff Neal versus the Doctor, Urish Medic. Udosh Medic. Knockout artist. I'm high on... There's some good fights. Dan Ige versus Melky Costa. Sean Strickland versus Fluffy. Ooh, Sean Strickland versus Fluffy. I might break that one down. I'm a big fan of Fluffy. Shalom, my brother. Appreciate you. Johnny, we used to be a little crazy, PJ. You know, crazy, deranged. Charles Martin's going to step. Okay. How's he do it? You think he's just going to bulldog a Jogba? So John Locke is saying the dogs are barking. PJ told me last week the dogs ain't barking. Them dogs is getting shot out back. Do you remember you said that, PJ? You're like, these dogs ain't barking. These dogs about to get shot and put down. I was like, you crazy. Jared Anderson has more power than a Jogba. He didn't stop Prince Charles. This is where we're going to put our money. All right, you guys, it's going to come down to the method of victory. This might be my only bet of the weekend, considering what the heater we're on. The method of victory for FA versus Prince. Julius likes points. John Locke thinks Prince is going to win. Sean Burdett thinks FA is going to win by knockout. Guys, the chat is torn. Boys, we're torn. How are we going to come together? Left straight, game over. Boom. Boys, I'll see you. I'll be back soon.